Good day on YouTube today, my brothers and sisters, as I go with a brief devotional, just ending up the live stream video I do on Facebook. And today I was speaking on a little Bible devotional I have through the book of Proverbs by a man by the name of John Gill. John Gill was born in 1697. He died in 1771. And he was speaking in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 3, how gold and silver goes to a fiery furnace, but God tests our hearts. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 9, in the Bible, God says that 1/3 of his people would have to go to a fiery furnace so to remove the dross. The gold, you see, gold has to go through. Let me explain. In the Old Testament times, there were goldsmiths, coppersmiths, who took gold and put it in a fiery furnace, hot fire, to remove dross that was on it so it could shine brighter. And in the same way, brothers and sisters, I believe that God allows pain and suffering to come our way so that his glory may be revealed more in our lives. In John chapter 9, verses 1 to 3, a blind man is brought to Jesus. And in verse 2, the apostles right away said to Jesus, "Lord, who sinned, this man or his parents sinned, that caused this man to be blind?" And in verse 3, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said in John 9, it had nothing to do with this man's sin or his parents' sin, but that the glory of God would be revealed in his life. You see, human tendency will say that if they see someone suffering, they think that that person is a bad person. They had it coming to them. Karma, what goes around comes around. Now, don't get me wrong. In Hebrews chapter 12, verses 5 to 11, the Bible is very clear that God will discipline his children. He will chastise them, but to produce fruits of righteousness. It's always for our good. You see, even an earthly parent, I'm a parent, many of you might be parents, sometimes we've had to discipline our children, and it hurt us to do it, but it was to correct a wrong in their lives and to bring them back. You see, God will allow things to happen in our lives if we're his child for our own good. You see, we have to go through trials, just like gold or silver goes through a fiery furnace to remove that dross so it could shine brighter. And sometimes we have to go through trials in life so that the spiritual dross in our lives that makes us dull and not effective for God can be removed so we can shine brighter for Christ. Joni Eareckson Tada was paralyzed in a diving accident in 1967 when she was 17 years old. She is a paralytic from the waist down, paraplegic. For the last 50 years, she has been going around the world telling about the gospel of Jesus Christ. If she was healthy with 2 healthy legs, I firmly believe that she wouldn't have been as effective for Christ than if she was not in that wheelchair. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, God will allow things to come in your life for a reason. The last few years, many that know me personally know that my father has passed away, my aunt, my brother, 2 good friends of mine. My mom is battling an illness now. And sometimes you could say to yourself, well, you know, why is this happening to me? And others, like I said, could say, oh, you might be going through this because of some sin in your life, unrepentant sin. And that could be the case, but that is for God to decide, not for us. But I truly believe that the ultimate purpose for us to go through trials in this life is to make us look up. There's an old saying that sometimes God has to put us on our back, so to speak, so the only way we can look is up. Because by nature, we're proud, and we think that we could do things in our own strength. And we get very complacent, especially here in the Western culture, where we have so much materialistic blessings from God. The tendency is to get that spiritual dross again, where we become dull for God. And sometimes God, like Job in the Old Testament, allowed him to go through so much suffering so that he would come out at the end a better and strong person for the Lord. I hope this little devotion will help us all, brothers and sisters. Again, nobody likes to suffer, but we do have to go through trials. As I said, and as the Bible said, just as silver and gold goes through a furnace to shine brighter. And I'll end with this. Remember this promise in Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9. As far as the heavens are above the earth, so is God's ways higher than our ways. We do not know everything, brothers and sisters. So trust yourself to the one who does. Take care. God bless you all.